It's that time again. It is that time again. Thankful Thursday. And today is truly a special Thankful Thursday because it is Thanksgiving. I was thinking about this and I wasn't sure if I ever did a Thanksgiving gratitude show before. In all my 92 episodes, I don't know if I did one at this time or not. So if I haven't, now is the time. And as we know, now is always the time because that is the present moment. So thank you for hopping on today. And we are going to jump right in because we all have a lot to do with our family, with our friends, with our businesses, and with ourselves. So let's start off with a quote for today. The quote for today is, "Gratitude is the key to happiness." And on that note, welcome to this episode of Live Beyond Default Livestream. It's your weekly dose of personal growth. My name is Dave. I am your host, coming at you live from the loft in downtown Arlington Heights. And it's episode number 92. We are coming up slowly but surely on that 100th episode. And that's something to be grateful for. And gratitude truly is the key to happiness. And that's what today's show is all about. It's all about you, the listener. It's all about your family, your friends, your inner soul, your business. And we're just going to start throwing things out that we're grateful for today. And I'm going to share with you truly about why I believe that gratitude is a lens. And I'm going to go over 3 different ways that we could look through that lens to bring more gratitude in our lives. There we've got Leon Moody. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, my friend. Eric Burns, it's been a while since I've seen you. Eric Burns and I went to NIU. Go Huskies, right? Love that. Thank you for hopping on, brother. Appreciate you. And there is Brandon. Brandon says, "Good morning, Dave. I wasn't sure if you were getting on today. Grateful and appreciative to know you and have you as a friend." Jennifer Renee, thank you so much and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Okay, so if you're looking at the screen right now and you see right here, there's a link, a StreamYard.com link. Now, I couldn't get the link to be a hyperlink, but if you take that and you type it into your browser, you can actually jump into this show with me live and be on screen, and we could jam together on something that you're gratitude for. Okay, so Leon says he is grateful for family and life no matter what's going on. Yeah, amazing point, Lee. Amazing point, Leon. No matter what's going on, we choose that lens that we look through. And have you looked at your lenses lately? Are they dirty from maybe your past? Do they need a little bit of wiping off? Do they need a little bit of clean? Maybe the lenses are unclear because your eyes have changed, right? These are all metaphors. So maybe you need a different prescription, or maybe you need a different shade. We are all Huskies the hard way. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's jump right in. Gratitude definitely is a lens. It's a way of seeing the world and our experiences, our growth, and even our future. So anybody, again, that wants to jump in, just put this link in your browser. Come on in. I'll bring you on the show. We'll talk together. In the meantime, let's keep cooking. So, gratitude. First, let's look through gratitude in our past room. Now, the past room of gratitude is all about reflection and humility. And the reason why that we want to do this is we don't want to look back to dwell on life, but we want to acknowledge in life all those things, situations that have happened to us, whether they're good or bad, they just are. And think of the 1 in however million trillion chance that you have just to be born and just to be put on this earth. That alone is just something to be grateful about. But we're all here. We're all here now. It's 2025. It's Thanksgiving weekend. And let's take a look and a moment just to reflect on what's happened in our life, what's brought some humility in our lives. And here's the big question. What happened that you wouldn't want to happen again, but it shaped you today? I know I can think of a few things that happened to me in my past that, yeah, I really wouldn't want to happen again, but they shaped who I am today. It's become my story. It's become my essence. It's become my passion. So think about this on your end. What happened in your past that maybe you're not proud of, or maybe you just had some bad luck and you wouldn't want it to happen to you again, but that moment helped shape you and for the rest of your life. And how important that is, not to dwell on it, but to learn from it, to bring that knowledge, to bring that experience forward and share that gift of gratitude coming in. Come on. I know we are all super happy today. I am fired up here in downtown Arlington Heights. You know, we are on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram. And of course, you can watch the replay on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to jump on in here with me, take this link, put it in your browser, hop on in, and we'll jam together for a couple minutes. All right. So again, let's think about our past room. One of the lenses to look through for gratitude, our past room. Let's reflect on our past life and what's happened and where maybe it brought some humility. So I'll think of something that happened in my past that I wouldn't want to happen again. Many years ago, I was a little bit more of a partier. And there were some times where I did things that I'm not really proud of. And even the lifestyle I lived for years, although today is my anniversaries, we're going to talk about that a little later too. But even though I wouldn't want to live that lifestyle again, I'm grateful that it happened to me. And the reason is because it made me who I am today. I was able to shift my life. I was able to make a choice and say, you know what? I don't like this path I'm going down in life. I'm going to choose and go down this path, even though it's a scary path. We all know that new path is scary, right? There's that Y in the road. It's a scary path, but I tried it. And because of it, I became a whole new person. My whole world opened up, new opportunities, and beautiful people came into my life. Raghu Sundara. Now, there's somebody to be grateful for. Mr. Sundara, thank you for really being a connection catalyst, the live version of LinkedIn. But more importantly, just a good guy, man. We love hanging out with you. We love all the events. I think this last week you did like 3 or 4 events. Like you really pushed yourself to the limit. Maybe that was last week. I know it was recent though. But Raghu is always connecting people. He's always on. He's always bringing value to the community, business community and personal community. And then, of course, you see posts with him and his daughter and his family. So thank you, Raghu. You are part of the reason why gratitude is the key to happiness. So thanks, brother. And of course, yeah, Brandon Cork, super, super grateful for you to be in my life. Yeah, and Brandon says, happy anniversary and congrats on my sobriety. Thank you. It has been 11 years. An 11-year journey of my elective sobriety. 11 years ago today, I woke up and I said, you know, there's just some things I don't like that's going on in my life. And I was already reading. I was already on my self-improvement movement. I was starting to grow personally and professionally and mentally and physically in ways that I never had. And then I realized that, you know what? when I was drinking, it was like it was stunting my personal growth and development. It's like it would reset the progress that I was making in my business, in my sales, in my physical, in my mental, in my relationships. Oh, it definitely stunted the progress I was making in my relationships in many areas of my life. So, yeah, 11 years ago today, hard to believe. But in a way, it's not hard to believe because when it's the right time and when you believe in yourself. So that is something that I will look back on. Don Block says, Happy Thanksgiving. Don, thank you for being not only an awesome realtor, but we love your podcast. We love your podcast. We love that it's live. One of the few live shows, right? And you're just an awesome community member in the Schaumburg area and beyond. So thank you so much. All right. So as we're talking about gratitude is a lens and a key to happiness, we started off with our past room. Ask yourself again, what happened that you wouldn't want to happen again, but it shaped you today? Okay. The next room that we're in is the present room. Now, you know, I love talking about the present room and being grounded because your gift truly is your presence. That is the gift that you bring to the world. So the present room is all about awareness and appreciation. Because remember, what you appreciate appreciates. Jot that one down. That is a good one to remember this whole weekend and the rest of the year. So looking through the gratitude lens in the present room, it creates presence. So really, let's think about this. Just breathe. One deep breath into your lungs. And think about the opportunities that you have now that you didn't before. Think of what's right in front of you that maybe you're not noticing because of all the distractions of social media and different people and politics and news and so much of what's going on around us that really most of it doesn't make a difference. Most of what's going on around us just doesn't make a difference. So I challenge you, take a breath. Recognize that we all have these opportunities in front of us that so many others don't have. And now that's not just to compare. We want to compare to ourselves. But the point is, bring some awareness and appreciation to the present moment. Is this the life that you dreamed of? I bet in a lot of ways, this is the life that you've dreamed of. I bet in a lot of ways it is. And I bet in a lot of ways, you and me are so hung up on what's happened in the past, or, oh my gosh, what's going to happen an hour or this weekend or in 2026, that we forget to just live in the moment. In the moment when our kids are taking their first steps, in the moment when our grandkids are first born, in the moment when we get that new client, or we see that that client is happy and they say, thank you. Or maybe when somebody wants to give you a gift and you say, oh, no, that wasn't necessary. Don't deny others when they want to give you a gift. Be open to receiving that gift, because that's so joyful for other people when they're doing that. And remember that throughout this holiday season, being present. It could be, and probably is, the life that you dreamed of. You've got a lot of people in your corner. That's something that's super important to remember. Sometimes if I'm down or I'm not feeling so good, I just think about all the people in my corner. Here, this morning alone, 1, 2, 3, I think I had messages from like 4 or 5 different people. They're all in my corner. All these people are in my corner. And I appreciate that. And it doesn't mean that I have to hang out with them all the time, but they're throwing out things to me. Dave, how's your day? Dave, hey, I haven't talked to you for a while. I'm going to call you this weekend. Dave, I owe you a call. Alicia Gabriel says, Dave, I am so blessed and grateful for our friendship. It's like all these little nuggets that just came in this morning to me. Christian said, Happy Thanksgiving. I did a French press this morning, and I'm really, really liking my French press. Parinda, good to see you and good to hear from you. I so appreciate you, even though we've only spoken a couple times in person. You're super cool. I love your entrepreneur mindset, and I love the divine feminine that you truly bring to the world. So thanks for being you. Don't change. Love who you are. All right. Again, if anybody wants to join in on the show, you see a link right here. Type that link into your browser. Boom. You will pull up on screen with me, and we could jam for a little while. So remember also, you have the opportunity right now to make generational choices. And what I mean by that is the choices that you make today can define generations to come. And it'll radically impact your family and your friends and the world after you're gone. Now, I know that people say that once you're gone, people forget about you and nobody's going to give two S's and that you won't be remembered. I don't know if I believe that, because I believe that the legacy that you leave, or the imprints and the impact that you leave, like look at all these people here. You're all leaving a massive impact on the world, and you're going to be doing that even today. So think about right now and today. You have the opportunity in the present to make generational choices that'll radically impact the world while you're gone. And I really, really want you to think about that, especially when you're around family and friends and coworkers throughout this holiday season, because you know that some of these people are going to trigger you, right? You know that some of these people, there's some unfinished business, there's some open loops still floating around out there that maybe you need to get off your chest, or maybe you need to have a one-to-one and talk with somebody about. We don't want to bring that. Of course, talk about what needs to be discussed. And I always appreciate when people are honest with me and even bring me bad news or something I don't want to hear. I just appreciate when they're upfront with me. So remember that. Everybody's got something going on behind them, but you have the opportunity to listen. You have the opportunity to be present. You have the opportunity to be there for people. And the choices you make, I believe, will impact the world for many, many years to come. 5 years from now, we might be having chips in our heads. And you know who might be sitting right next to me right here? A robot. Can you imagine me interviewing an AI robot on my show? I can't imagine what that would be like. And then I program them of who they should be. I don't want that. I want human beings like you and me who make mistakes. I want human beings that have feeling and that can discern for themselves, right? And I know you all can do that too. Okay, so as we said, gratitude is a lens and it's a key to happiness. First, we started off with the lens of looking in our past room, all about reflection and humility. Now we're discussing the present room. It's about awareness and it's about appreciation of what's in front of us, because what you appreciates, right? And lastly, we are going to really close out this present room with a big question. Now, I want you all to write this down, because anybody listening to this show or watching the show is very self-reflective, and they are willing to call themselves out when they're playing small. So write this one down. What have you taken for granted this year? What have you taken for granted this year? And I know there's something that you have, because when I did this last night, there was like 3 things that I took for granted this year. Number one, I took for granted my health and how good it really is. And there were some times that I didn't exercise this year. I took that for granted. Your body and your mind, that's all that you have. What was I thinking, right? That's something that I took for granted this year. Another thing I took for granted was a couple relationships in my life. That's the last thing you want to take for granted, right? So write that one down and truly reflect on that one this weekend, okay? I really want you to think about what you've taken for granted this year, what you didn't appreciate, and perhaps moving forward, you'll change that lens. You'll change that gratitude lens on that situation. All right, we have here, happy Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for being your close friend and seeing your incredible growth over the years. That is Jimmy. Let me share with you something about this guy. I met this guy back in the day when I was in my party days, right? Now I'm still in my party and love of life days. I'm just not doing it with alcohol, which distracted me in my personal growth. But this guy, when I met him, it was on a softball team, and we were on this league, and he came up to me. I happened to be on his team, and he said, "Hey man, you don't know how to throw." I'm like, "Don't know how to throw? What do you mean?" Like, I've done this before. And he's like, "No, man, just go out there and I'm going to teach you how to throw a softball." And wouldn't you know, from then on, because he challenged me to be a better person, and he probably didn't want me to suck on his team, right? Makes sense. He challenged me to be better. And ever since then, we have been close friends. And that was in 1999 or 2000. So I've known this man for 25 years. He's a man of integrity. He's a man of family. He's an amazing entrepreneur. And he truly comes from a place of abundance. And what I love about him is he calls me out on my bullshit when I'm playing small. So thank you, brother. I love you. And I so appreciate you, Jimmy. Anastasia says, happy Thanksgiving, neighbor. Yeah, right? I have so many neighbors in this building here in downtown Arlington Heights. And every time I see Anastasia in the hall or the coffee shop, or she creates an event for this building to get together, it's just like all about love. She's smiling. She's such a kind person. And I couldn't ask for a better neighbor. So thank you, Anastasia. Mr. Ritesh Saw, I took for granted how I show up for myself. Ooh. Yeah. Ritesh, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that big one, right? He listened to the question. He wrote it down. Now I'm going to repeat it. What have you taken for granted this year? Ritesh said he took for granted how he shows up for himself. That's a big one, brother. Thank you for that lunch a few days ago. So appreciate you. And you've been such an amazing person in my life the last few years. And you are an inspiration in many, many ways. Anastasia says, you are so sweet. Thankful for you. Thank you. All right. Jamie says, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, Jamie, thank you for getting on this live stream. I know I paused there for a moment. I'm not sure why. Okay. So remember, what have you taken for granted this year? That's the present room. And now we are going to move on to the future room. Okay. Gratitude. Lens. We talked about in the beginning. Are your lenses dirty? Do they need to be cleaned off? Maybe they need to be washed. Maybe your lenses need a different shade over them. But maybe, really, your lenses might need to be changed with the prescription, right? Maybe they need to be changed with the prescription. Can you see those blue eyes now? Maybe a little bit better after these are off, right? Okay, so let's go into our future room. The future room is all about hope, possibility, and faith. Hope, possibility, and faith. It's not just about what happened, but it's about what's coming. Whew. And this is a tough one for me, and I think it's a tough one for a lot of us. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or the replay on Apple and Spotify, I know this is a tough one for all of us. What's going to happen in the future? It's about what's coming. So the future room is going to create opportunities. This hope, possibility, and faith. It's not a strategy. It's what's ahead, and you're still walking forward. It's like I like to think of faith as kind of filling in that gap. Like you're already being your future self. You're acting like your future self. You're meditating on it and you're visualizing who you are becoming in the future while being grateful of what you have in the past or right now in the present room. But it's that little bit of faith where you're filling in the gaps, where you know how you're acting, what you're saying, how you're thinking, what you're doing behind closed doors when nobody is looking. What you're doing right now is shaping your future self, right? We like to say borrow or invest in your future self now. Make decisions today and take actions today that you would be doing like who you're going to become 6 months or 12 months from now. So it's a little bit of faith. So where do you think you're going to be going in 2026? Where do you think you're going to be a year from now? Let's start acting. Let's start being. Let's become who we want to be, right? That comes from Amber Faruqi. Become who you, or no, be who you want to become. That's it. And that's such a good note to take. Be who you want to become. We're walking towards that. And I'm going to challenge you all now to another question. What are you thankful for that hasn't happened yet? Oh, tell me that's not a big one, huh? You know, we don't play softball here on Live Beyond Default live stream, okay? You want to play softball, we could just, you figure it out. Point is, what are you thankful for that has not happened today? I want to see those comments light up like they have been, because I know there's something out there that you're striving for, that you're waking up every day and you've got that extra faith for. Maybe you have a friend or a family member or a kid that's pushing you to be a little bit more. Maybe it's your strength and your relationship with God or a higher power where it's calling you and saying, you know what? I know I'm better, or I know I could become this person that I've always wanted to, and I'm going to keep going and keep going, even though I'm not seeing results right now. That's the worst part about it, is we be and we do right now, but we don't see the results. And that's playing the infinite game. That's the love of the infinite game. And that's why it's so important to be present. Taking a breath, grounding your feet, listening to the person in front of you while knowing that you're on that path to being your best future self. Roberta says, happy Thanksgiving, grateful for friends and family. Great message. Yeah, grateful for friends and family. Roberta, you have been a light ever since you first showed up to the Schauberg Business Association's Coffee and Contacts a couple of years ago. I am so glad I met you. I love when we go out to lunch. I love when we grab coffee, and you always have a way to my stomach because you bake such awesome food and bring it to me. So thank you again for being you. I so appreciate you. Kat. Oh, Kat, I remember when you were sitting here on this chair like it was yesterday. Kat says, grateful to have joined you today. You are always beautiful presence, and I appreciate the goodness you put out in the world, and happy anniversary. I am so proud of you. Kat, you have made such an impact in my life when you sat next to me right here in this chair and you opened up and you shared things that might have gotten a lot of backlash after that show, but you still did it. And I appreciate you so much. You don't even know how much I appreciate you. You know why? Because sometimes I don't say it. So it's time for me to say it more. Thanks for showing up. Oh, Michelle. Michelle, you were on the show back in the day. Michelle says, I am all about the future self in her manifestation right now. Ooh, let's read more. But I don't always practice that reality. I let it drop when I see with 2025 eyes. Thank you for the reset. Yes, yes. Michelle, love this. That's the big challenge. So she says that she doesn't always practice the reality of having that faith about her future self. She lets it drop when I see it with 2025 eyes. There's that lens again. So we want to be present, At the same time, where are we all not having faith in our future self because we're seeing ourselves with the 2025 eyes? Or maybe we're seeing ourselves with 2020 or 2010 eyes. Maybe we're seeing ourselves with that. And remember, your past does not define your present or your future. It's the other way around. Your present moment and the thoughts and the energy that you have right now actually define your past. Okay? You reframe your past by who you are in the present moment and the faith you have going in the future. Write that one down. That's a big one. People are still pounding that one into my head. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Michelle. You are a gift to the world, and I am so grateful for you. And I love when Dr. Michelle has called me out on things that she didn't agree with that I said. And that's what I love about her, because we can both be friends, and we still are. And do we agree on everything? No, probably not half the things we don't even agree upon. But we're still friends, and we challenge each other, and we're open to listening to each other. Dr. Michelle, I'm super grateful for you. Thank you. Jimmy says, be who you want to become. Love it. Yep, that's Amber Faruqi. She taught me that one. Dan O'Rieger, happy Thanksgiving. Dan, talk about a light in the world. Mr. Dan O'Rieger. I know I called you O'Rieger. Okay. I knew this was going to turn into a love fest, but that's what this is all about. Dan, not only does he own DJ's Auto, how much does it suck when you bring your car in to get fixed and you just feel like you're getting hosed because somebody tells you that, oh, the flux capacitor is broken and it's going to cost you $3,000. And then they say the gigawatt converter is out and a new one won't be available for 2 weeks and it's going to cost $1,500. And you're like, what's a gigawatt converter, right? Dan, I'm so glad I brought my car to you a few years ago. And ever since then, you've been taking care of my Acura, which right now has 239,000 miles. Thank you, brother. And Stephanie says, happy Thanksgiving, man. Oh, Stephanie, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so we are talking right now about the future room. What are you thankful for that hasn't happened yet? Okay, here's another one. Write this one down or type it down or talk it into your phone. Changes are personal, possible, and profitable. Write that one down. Changes are personal, possible, and profitable. Those are words to live by. Now, when you break that down, remember, changes are personal. It's all about you when you're making these changes. It's not about changing because others want you to change. It's not about changing because certain sources are telling you or you're getting bashed around by the marketplace. Yes, we pivot at times, but changes are personal. They are possible. That's that faith. I'm a totally different person now than I was 11 years ago. I'm a totally different person now than I was 5 years ago in 2020. And I bet you are too in many ways. And changes are profitable. I absolutely love that one. Changes are profitable. Think about that. And profitable doesn't necessarily mean what's in the pocket. Profitable means the heart. Is your heart open? It's your mind. Is your mind open? And are you investing in your mind? Are you investing in your heart? Are you investing in your soul? Are you investing physically and mentally? Are you investing in your network? Because remember, your network is your net worth. Are you making deposits into those people that you love and that you want to give thanks to? Are you going to make those deposits with people over this weekend and over the holidays, even if they're triggering you, right? Are you still going to make that investment? And it's the investment without the expectation of a return. That truly is the gift. And I know when I talk to Jimmy and Dan and Stephanie and Jennifer and Dr. Michelle and Dawn and Kat, they're all making deposits. They've all made deposits into me without asking for anything or expecting anything in return. And the funny thing is sometimes you don't get a return from those that you think you will. And that's okay, because we're not looking for happiness outside of us. We're looking at happiness from within, because we know that's where it always comes. Okay, so today we've talked about gratitude, that it's a lens and it's the key to happiness. We discussed our past room, which is all about the reflection and humility. Looking at our past room, asking ourselves, what happened back in the day that we wouldn't want to happen again, but it shaped us today, and we're kind of grateful in a way that it did. Next, it's the present room. It's looking through that lens of awareness and appreciation, because what you appreciates. And again, think of what happened this year that really you didn't pay homage to, that really you took for granted. It's time to reflect on that this weekend. And then, of course, your future room. Do you have that faith and that vision to become that next person? Are you being now who you want to become 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now? And then think about it a year from now. Are you going to be looking back, and are you going to be proud of the decisions that you made? Are you going to be proud of who you've become? Are you going to be proud of how you acted when people were knocking you down? That's where it truly comes. And change is only constant, says Jennifer Renee. Yeah, change is only constant. So as we discussed that changes are personal, possible, and profitable, change is the only constant. So don't fight it. I know I want to fight it too, because I want this to be comfortable. Of course, we're human. We love being comfortable. But we know that once we become a little bit too comfortable, that's where we get stagnant. And that's where we know that the growth is not there. Again, I want to just share briefly about how grateful I am for everybody in my life, not just showing up on this show, but also to be celebrating my 11 years of elective sobriety. And it truly has been, it's like I've lived more of a life than in this last 11 years than I did in the previous 44 years before. Like, it really, truly has transformed my life. And whatever dropped in with me on Thanksgiving morning of 2014, whatever dropped in, whatever faith I had, maybe it was something I was thankful for that didn't happen yet. Could be. Who knows? But whatever it was, I love the life that I'm living, but more importantly, I love that I get to share it all with you, not just in this community, but across the country and across the world. I do have a couple suggestions. First of all, I highly suggest a gratitude journal. And this is one that's super cool. Somebody gave it to me, and it's not signed, so I don't remember who gave it to me, but it says 1 line a day. And what's cool about this is it just has the dates in there, but you fill in the year, and then you write down what you're grateful for. So I pulled this out. I am committing to finally starting to use this because I think it's super awesome. And I also want to share some gratitude for this book, The Alchemist, because this book that I was reading in 2020, when lockdown happened here in America and across the world, I was reading this book, and I felt like I was this boy walking through the desert looking for his purpose, like in this book. I was connecting with my future self. That did not happen yet. So this was a key to my growth and my spiritual awakening, but more important for me to really tap in, believe in myself, and share my gifts with the world. So I highly recommend this book. It's super easy to read. There's a ton of gold nuggets in there, and Kat has something to say. Why? Because she's Kat and she's awesome. Kat says, needed this today. You gave me a great jump start to today. I finished my workout stronger. Moving away has been so tough, and your strength and inspiration really helped today. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you, everybody. Go out, truly be a light to the world. Remember, gratitude is a lens. Take those glasses and wipe them clean today from your past. Wipe them clean from anything that's bothering you. Put on those shiny glasses. I want you to look through a lens of gratitude throughout the rest of today, this Thanksgiving weekend, and through the rest of 2025, because we are going to make 2026 our best year yet. Thank you for watching Live Beyond Default live stream, episode number 92. And until next time, make it a great day. Make it a great Thanksgiving. I love you all and so appreciate your presence. Make it a good one.